sorry if the title ends up being clickbait and all that. I really, really don't intend it to. Well, I kind of do intend for it to be clickbait, but for good reason. Turns out that if you have ever slept with anyone or had multiple lovers at the same time, you could be committing a felony. And sorry about the lighting. I only have the one light that's right back there. It's back there and all that. And unfortunately, I don't have a desk lamp, so my face is illuminated by my computer, which, as you can see, doesn't do very much. So, anyways, as I was saying, apparently I just recently found this out, and I don't think a lot of people really know about it, but apparently there's an immigration law that is against the cultures that happen to practice polygamy. Now, in the U.S., there's a law called polygamy or something like that. Anyways, which is the concept of having more than one legal spouse, and it's very much illegal in the U.S. Now, that's not necessarily it's part of the problem. It's not necessarily the problem because most people are only married to one person at a time. But sometimes there's some people who happen to practice polygamy, and because of that, they'll have a wife, and then they'll have a legal wife, and then they'd have a lover who lives in the same house with them. Well, apparently, anyways, now, like I said, I found this out through an immigration law, which I'm going to put the link to the article in the description. Sorry about that, my disfluency is kicking in. But anyways, apparently it's perfectly legal to believe in polygamy. You're free to believe in that if that's what you're into. However, you cannot, under any circumstance, practice polygamy, and I really don't know why, because the article kind of stated that it was originally meant to target certain types of Christian families and other cultures that practice polygamy. I guess the government doesn't like people having more than one significant other, I guess. I don't know, but to be honest, in a world where we pride ourselves on living in a country that gives us more freedom than most other countries, is actually doing the opposite. Now, not to get into conspiracy theories or anything, but for those who are into wearing the whole tinfoil hat thing, you might want to put that on, because not only do we have to suffer through so-called brainwashing and poisonings and all that stuff, but apparently we're also dictated of who we can have relationships with, and how many of those people we can have relationships with, because basically if you're a foreigner and you're trying to get citizenship, you will be denied if you have been proven of polygamy, essentially. You will be denied of citizenship. But here's the weird part. Now, this is the vague area, because this is mostly through immigration laws, but this can be applied to United States citizens who are born here as well, because apparently you're considered a polygamy practitioner, for lack of better words, if you happen to if you're let's say a guy, for instance, just for example, I'll have other examples, but anyways, a guy who lives with two female roommates, both him and those women could be accused of polygamy and be arrested. And not just that, but they have to pay, at best, they'd have to pay a $5,000 fine. But if they can't do that, then they get the other option, which is jail time, imprisonment, essentially. So yeah, that's the kind of scary part, because this can be applied to close to 70% of the United States, because, well, some people have more than one roommate because that can help with the bills, and some people will, let's say, let's say that a guy happens to be living with a roommate of his, and then her sister or a friend of hers needs some place to stay, and she stays over. That could be breaking the law, which really sucks, because in Utah, apparently, I actually heard about this. Apparently, they didn't legalize polygamy there. They took away the law that kept people that kept 2 women from living with 1 man, essentially. So that sucks, because that also goes into cohabitation as well, which is something that is currently legal, but may be illegal in the future, because cohabitation is when it's essentially like roommates, like you live with another person, but you're not married to them, and you can have sex with them if that's what you both are into and whatnot. So yeah, there's that, but so yeah, that's what really bothers me, is because just of how many people this can apply to. It doesn't, and here's the worst part, actually. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. Like, as you could be straight, bi, lesbian, gay, doesn't matter. If you're living in a house with more than 1 other person, unless they are blood related to you, you are essentially breaking the law, and that's what's scary about this, because it's all like, I know for a fact that there's like thousands of people who are actually living with more than 1 other person who is not related to them. I don't know anyone personally. I just know that there's a lot of people that this will affect, and this can apply to many different ways. Like, if a guy has had relationships and had children with 1 woman and then had children with another woman without legally marrying them, they could all be arrested, essentially, because that would still be within the bounds of polygamy, and that is technically illegal in the United States of America. And since there's a lot of people that applies to, that means that single moms can be arrested, single dads can be arrested. So yeah, that's what's really like I said, it's scary, and it's scary. And personally, I believe that pretty much by nature, guys are naturally polygamous, and girls or women are naturally monogamous, and that's just a inherited trait from generations of evolution, essentially. Now, you don't have to believe in evolution. That's your thing. If that's your thing, you don't have to believe in that. But that doesn't mean it won't affect you, because, like I said, this was originally meant to target Christian families that practiced polygamy and other cultures that practice polygamy, because apparently the U.S. government doesn't like it. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't know why these laws are in place. But what I do know is that this could apply to a lot of people, and because it's applying to a lot of people, it can be disastrous. And I'm actually half tempted to actually do a change.org petition to have that changed, because it is essentially, it's not fair, it's against freedom, and it's freedom, that's another thing. Now, personally, when it does come down to immigration laws and all that, I do believe there are some stuff that should be, in fact, in place. And my camera's about to die, so I better hurry this up. So, anyways, but yeah, I do believe immigration laws should be in place, but I don't think we should judge a person based on how many spouses and children they have, because apparently, in order to prove someone's polygamous, if they bring over children, they do DNA tests on that guy's children, or they pull their medical records to find out where they were born and who they were related to when they were born. So basically, if one child or several children from one woman, but they're blood related to this guy, and the same thing with their brothers or sisters, except they're with a different mother, that can be disastrous as well. So yeah, this really wasn't a particular part of any video series I've done. I just thought about doing this video because I thought it was very concerning. So yeah, I guess that's about it. And sorry for the quality. It's almost evening here, and I only got that one light. Up there and all that. I need to get a desk lamp. But yeah, anyways, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.